Hi everybody, Windy City Thetan Watch. We are here in Chicago at the Ideal Org, heading over to 650 South Clark Street. I know I started a little bit earlier. Again, I kind of guesstimate when I'll be able to get down here and how the train schedule's going. Just turns out that I caught quick trains, so we've got that. If you're joining us on the replay, please comment. Those comments really do help the algorithm. I've noticed that the videos that get the most comments are the ones that get the most views. So as you comment, it appears to be engaging to YouTube. By the way, my hope is that it's actually engaging to you. I know that a lot of times we're out here and we'll just be wandering the streets. We won't find anybody immediately. So there's a lot of slow spots in these streams. That's why we do the speed runs and I do the clips. Usually I'll add chapters. Sometimes it's not until just before I do the speed runs. So I've got to get better about that as well. It's an overcast day. I don't think we're going to get rain. We'll get rain probably about 3 o'clock this afternoon. I do have a couple of topics that I want to talk about today. We'll kind of wait until we get some dry spots, but basically, I know that we'll see some professional protesters this weekend, self-declared king of type stuff. Most of you know what I'm hinting at there. It'll be interesting to see that. So we're here in the back alley, right? And just to kind of show you, there's nothing really going on here in the alley. They would have only opened 15 minutes ago. So the other one is that I want to talk about protesting in general and some of the tactics that'll happen in regards to anti-protesting. And the reason I bring that up is that, right, we know that the king of paid protesters has claimed to shout down anybody who he doesn't like in this space. And again, I'm not trying to get into a personality issue here. I'm going to say that I'm going to be out here and protest. And if you're okay with protesting, great. If you're not okay with protesting, that's fair as well. But my objective here is to be protesting. Now, the reason that I'm bringing up protesting right now, and you can tell by the thumbnail, is that we've got the DNC going to be here this coming week. And historically, the DNC has had some troubles here in Chicago. 1968 riots being the most heightened element of the protests. But I was talking with some friends at the dog park this morning, and we kind of talked about the idea that what'll happen is when protests occur, and this happened during George Floyd and the COVID era. All right, we've got some people down here today. I think that we've got Helgir and we've got Never and Nana. Looks like we've got a sign out here. So stopping family disconnection, right? Down the whole time? Yeah. All right, you seem interested in something.
One of the girls, I don't know her name because I don't know their names, went in,
Yep.
She was texting, she went into the building, and then an African-American gentleman followed her in from over here. They've been watching us the whole time.
Okay.
So they're still in there. They haven't come back out yet.
No problem.
I know you'll recognize her. I think she's the one that brings the shades down all the time.
Okay, yep. And one of them, so one, Anastasia, I do know, but I think that Anastasia has been moved off of here, and there's another one that's very consistently been here doing that shades.
She has her hair dyed. It's like dark, the light.
Very dark, yeah.
Yeah.
She works there.
How are you doing, Helly?
How are you?
Very, very well.
Good to see ya.
Got Helly here today.
I got my
We've got Never and Nana here today.
Yeah. Also, this gentleman in the yellow shirt down
Yep.
the street is involved in it. No, this guy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you know him.
No, and I'm gonna just, again, based upon his dress, and this,
But he
by the
was
way,
talking
folks.
to the other gentleman.
Right, yeah. This is a descriptive statement, not a derogatory statement. That traditionally, so he might be a public that they're trying to recruit, but he is highly
He was talking to the other gentleman that followed her in.
Okay,
And they haven't been seen since. It's been like at least 5 minutes.
gotcha. And we've got nothing out back. Now, I will say that for what it's worth, with the DNC going on this
Right.
week, be very careful. There's an awful lot of professional protesters out here and a lot of professional anti-protesters out here.
Yes, that
So-
is correct. And the police are on like
Yeah.
high alert.
So
I thought Holly got in trouble because there was an officer went into Dunkin' Donuts, but it was a enforcement officer. But
Gotcha.
all I could see was his
The
black
yeah.
jacket, and it was like, oh no, what did she do?
yeah. So Helly's getting her body cam set up. Which one do you have? You've got the Bob Log.
Really cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's got a laser pointer, a flashlight. You can record only. Nice screen. Beautiful view.
Yes,
I
absolutely. And you get
practiced
4K.
yesterday.
You'll get 4K out of that. So one thing that's nice is that, so on this, right, because it's live, we get a degraded
Right,
feed.
yeah.
Whenever I really need to get somebody's face, having the body cam helps me get that because this is 4K.
Okay. I need to get one.
So, and they're rather affordable,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, this, right now I can't justify it because I'm not out here that
Right.
often.
So,
If I can get out more, once my back heals up more,
Yeah, I'm fat.
Nice.
They're not going to be touching my boobs either.
correct. I like that. All right,
And I have safety glasses.
very
Oh,
nice,
gosh, in case.
very nice. Okay, I'm gonna wander down past him.
yeah, thanks.
I'm gonna then go over to since you guys are here. I'm gonna go over to the farmers market,
Right.
see if there's anything going on there. I saw no activity in the background. You know, there should be people already. They should be
Yeah, there's a couple
staffed.
in already.
So okay,
Oh, couple in here?
yeah.
There's like,
Oh, somebody swore at her already.
yeah, okay, 2 people went
Staff?
in. No.
Okay.
2 couples went in wearing CCHP black, white, and red t-shirts.
Okay.
And the lady told me she didn't want to listen to me and that I'm fucking idiot.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, you're right. So this is blinds.
Told me a fucking idiot. That's nice.
She said, "You're darn right I am." Right?
I'm a little more.
Yeah.
And they don't open till 11.
The pizza doesn't? Okay.
And someone tried to go in there
Nice.
to cut through earlier.
Nice. Anything positive to share about your church? All right, folks, we're going to head over to the farmers market real quick. We've got some protesters out here. I'm going to take a walk by. So the guy in yellow is, well, I'll say that he was along with. Just looking at his reactions, right, I'm going to say that he probably is unhoused. He definitely looks to be struggling with mental activity. Good morning. I got nothing on me. So, hey, Kat. Yeah, that's kind of one of the things that I want to talk about today. Is that right? That there will be professional protesters here, and what I was saying just before I arrived, I didn't realize we'd have other protesters here today, which is awesome. That does give me the freedom to kind of roam a little bit. We are going to go over to the farmers market real quick to make sure that there's nothing going on over there as they're setting up. Actually, they're already set up, but I want to make sure that nobody's trying to pass out any flyers or anything over there. That what will happen, and this happened during George Floyd when the riots were going through here. By the way, on this street during the riots, every single piece of glass on this street at retail level was broken. The protesters and looters, they broke into everything, and they just did carnage everywhere. Now, I don't think that any of them truly were, I don't think the vast majority of them had anything to do with the protesting movement. in that space. Now, I'm not saying that, they're happy to see that George Floyd lost his life at the hands of police in a very unwarranted and undeserving manner, illegal manner. And I know I'm being careful about those words, and it's just that I don't know what the YouTube algorithm is going to accept or not accept on that. But there are, let's say, street gangs here in Chicago, and they rented straight trucks, the 28-foot trucks, and they would have people go in and break windows so that they could very quickly go in and loot and come back out. They weren't protesting the power of the police or the illegality of the police in regards to what was going on. They were here to steal, right? And I will tell you that we've known that we've seen people ask for, you want to get paid to be a protester? We'll pay you to be a protester if you have our point of view. And that, in my opinion, if you're protesting, hopefully you stand behind what you're protesting or stand against what you're protesting. In '68, the DNC was incredibly biased against the protesters. We do know that Commander Harris, who is the 1st District officer here, he's the chief of the 1st District here. The 1st District is what governs the area where the Church of Scientology is located at, here at 650 South Clark. He put out a press release months ago saying they were not going to be tolerant against the protesters, that they were going to act harshly, quickly, and abruptly. And that I don't like that that's the police's going in point of view. All right, folks, we're gonna walk past the generator here, so hopefully the mic's covering that up from you. We're gonna take a quick run through here as we're setting up the farmers market. Once I see that nothing's here, look at the fruits and vegetables. Looks amazing. What I do know is there have been people who are protesting what I will say are traditional liberal points of view that will be here, and they have been told that they will be in sight of the entrances to the DNC and that they will be in earshot of the entrances to the DNC. And they've got their permits, so they will be able to parade and to protest in those scenarios. Sorry, I haven't really been looking at the chat. As soon as I get out of this area, I will quickly run back through there. So basically all of this is to say that, yeah, I have a heightened awareness today that this weekend we will have visitors in. Yeah, I lived in this neighborhood when the George Floyd riots were taking place here. If you watch the other channel, I've mentioned this, that Jen, who is the person that a lot of times will come with me, she's a native-born Chicagoan as well, big fan of the city. She lived in Minneapolis in the neighborhood where the CNN reporter, well, actually where George Floyd was killed, and also where the CNN reporter was illegally detained by the police. So I don't know if you remember that, but right, the police came out and detained and arrested the CNN reporter because he wouldn't leave the area, but journalism has the right of way in that situation. So there was no right for or no probable cause, and it was absolutely preventing him from his First Amendment rights to be a journalist. And we rely heavily on the freedom of press so that we can uncover illegal and deceptive practices of our government. Got the Dearborn Station down here. It is 10 o'clock. My guess is that some of you will be on computers, so hopefully you've got eyes on the org as well as myself. If anybody feels that I might be helpful over at the org, please feel free to come in and mention something. Howdy, MD Media. Yeah, the Minneapolis was torn upside down, and there are people, right, I will tell you that when we were there protesting during the My Tony celebration, that was the day that the former president was shot in the ear. And I will tell you that the PTSD of the general population was, we need to get out of here before they lock this place down, because they still have such a vivid memory of the protests and riots that occurred after George Floyd. My expectation is that we're going to see a lot of stuff boarded up here before the weekend is over. Now, today after the stream, I do plan on going over to I want to do a second string, and we'll just walk over to the United Center, which is where the DNC is really going to be held. Now, it's going to be in two different places. It's going to be at McCormick Place, which is about 1.5 miles to 2 miles southeast of us, and then you've got the United Center, which is basically, you know, two we're getting a little bit of drizzle, but not much. It doesn't seem too tough on me right now. I don't think it's going to damage the equipment, so we'll kind of stay out here. I'm going to head back to the org. It is a very overcast day. I don't know what foot traffic will be like today. Now I think there's a Bears game today, and the Bears play about 1 mile. Well, if you understand where McCormick Place is, the Bears Stadium, or Soldier Field, is just one parking lot away from McCormick Place. We're seeing an awful lot of Bears uniforms out here, and by uniforms, I don't think these people are actually playing for the Bears today. They're going to be cheering for the Bears. It might be worth my time to head over that way as well. Cat Ocean, you take that back. I'll give you one chance for redemption. Over on Franklin Street at Adams, there is a very tall building. Can you tell me what the name of that building is, Cat Ocean? All right, so we're seeing that we've got some police officers stationed here. This is atypical for them to be here, but I'm sure this is just to make sure, and if there is any issues that arise, they can deploy quickly. Good morning. Which body cam is it? Oh, Axon? Okay, interesting. Do you know how long that'll record for? A whole shift? Okay.
As long as the battery, so the battery dies out.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you. I'll say they were as friendly as would be expected. They have no idea why I'm out here. Howdy, Lori. Howdy, Janelle. You guys are hustling to get down to the stadium. I have not really been keeping track of the Bears for a while. I used to play fantasy football because, let's just say this, the Bears were not an awesome team, right? And just not fun to watch for me at that point in time. I remember back, although the Bears stunk when I was growing up, you at least got to watch Walter Payton on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Laura, you have a great day. Have a great nap. Enjoy your time away. Rest up. I do plan on being out here again tomorrow. I think that our friends from LA might be here tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So this is interesting. We've got some Toronto Blue Jays fans here. As much as I don't follow football, that car just ran right through the red light. As much as I don't follow football, I follow baseball even less. Hey, Amy, if it's public knowledge, can you email me who that might be? The only reason is I need to know what my environment and my surroundings might be like. Yeah, there is something else I would like to talk about. Almost every day after I get off of a stream, I get an email from a Chicago protester. I get a text or an email from a Chicago protester, and they're saying that, hey, everybody's been warning me that you've been talking about me today, or that I've been spreading misinformation. If any of you ever thinks that I'm spreading misinformation, please tell me. I will correct it in a heartbeat. I don't believe that I've been spreading misinformation. I don't believe I've been spreading anything other than public information. And at the end of the day, I'm trying to spread the awareness of the nefarious activities of this cult against that individual. So please, before you feel compelled to claim that I'm doing something to the antithesis of that person, please feel free to let me know. And if I'm doing something wrong, I will correct it. I have high faith that I am not doing something wrong in those scenarios. And if it's so important that you must text others to warn them of me, please let me know what I'm doing wrong. Howdy, Susie. Thank you, Amy. Actually, I'm surprised there's more foot traffic than I had expected. Now, again, we're near the farmer's market. We're not on Clark Street. Amy, that's excellent, thank you. My understanding was that was going to happen tomorrow, but good to know. going to head back over. Now, you'll notice that I don't think the blinds ever went up. We had Never and Nana there. We had Heligear over there. That they were confronted as well, so they tried to challenge some of the... When I say challenge, listen, I'm not talking fisticuffs or anything like that. They spoke to the people that were walking in and asked them questions, and the people that were coming in reacted. Hallie said that one of them swore at her. She believed them to be publics, or at least civilian dressed, right? We're definitely I'm not seeing any Scientology out here on the street. I'll poke and look at the back alley real quick while we head over here. Again, something that I want to say is that, right, with the DNC being here this week, there will be paid protesters and paid anti-protesters here. I don't mean to give any inference that Scientology is behind any of that. It's just that the country is rather divided when we come to politics these days. And there are people that are pro-Democrat and people that are against Democrat. There are very few people that are in the middle anymore these days, or at least they're not vocal about it. So there is every expectation that there will be protests in support of the Democrats and protests that are against the Democrats. And there will be people who will be paid to come in and cause disruption. Now, most of that is going to happen away from the org. So again, I'm not overly concerned about that, but the police are going to be on a heightened sensitivity as well this weekend. Well, this weekend and this coming week. The DNC, I don't believe, starts until Monday. The last I heard was that President Biden is likely coming on Monday to kick it off. And with that, and the recent activities in Pennsylvania, my expectation is that the security will be incredibly intense. It will be hard to get over there with camera equipment and a backpack full of things that will show up on X-ray. You know, nothing nefarious, but you get an awful lot of electronics in here, and then Secret Service is going to be wondering what that is, and the local police as well. There's really no activity going on over there. Went over to State Street. There's foot traffic going over there, but there's no Scientology over there. Anybody really walking in or out here? So. Yep.
Nope. And that guy never came out. I think it was just a coincidence, but it just seemed funny because he was standing out there watching us, for a while.
I will say this all the time, and I don't mean this in any derogatory manner. I do it all the time. Are they watching me? Are they not? And then it's like, no, it's just somebody waiting for their son to come out of the college, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, the couple that was in the truck, I was waiting for them to go in, but they went that way.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. No, I
It
So.
shouldn't be alone for a certain length of time.
But I will definitely say that it's not unthinkable.
No, that's what I said. You know, it's like, am I being paranoid?
Yeah. You're not being paranoid if you're being followed, right? So.
Only the paranoid survive.
Yeah, absolutely, right.
Well, that's the thing. What are you up to?
It does get confusing because you start picking up on every little thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't tell you that every time I see a dark suit,
Right?
it's like, oh, is that Scientology? It's like, and then you'll see, no, they've got a colored shirt or they've got a nice tie, and it's like, okay, yeah, they're
Women, if they have
just
a
well
nice
dressed.
handbag,
Yeah.
designer handbag,
Yeah, right.
Not happening. And the guys have got to have pants that are too short.
Yes.
It's a coat.
Did she walk down with the three, or did no?
I don't think
Okay.
it could be, not
Right. So we just had somebody, public, walk in, looking like public, I'll say civilian dressed. I did not see them until it was too quick. Yeah, or they don't smoke, that's good. Now there are a couple, I'll say that the younger cast members or characters that we see here, they're traditionally not smoking or even vaping. I'm not even seeing them really vape. It does happen to be the middle-aged and the older crowd that we're seeing smoke a lot. Please don't take that to be that nobody young here smokes. I'm just saying that it's very, very rare that I see anybody who's young in here smoking. They're off by a little bit. Do you guys just try to get the people to move it back off, or are they going to get a fine as well?
Well, their permit expired, and because DNC Secret Service wants them out of it.
Right. Oh, everything, like even the little garbage cans too, right?
Yeah.
Is it anything from the corner place all the way over, or will there be safe gaps in here?
Not everything, but they don't even have a permit, so.
Yeah. I always say marathon is one that always bothers me because, oh, I need to throw this out. I can't throw this out. So we've got CDOT here, the garbage can that's really, it's Columbia's, right? Because they're doing the transition between semesters. So students are throwing out a lot of the stuff they don't want to transport back and forth. And the claim is that they don't have their permits any longer for this. So I do think I want to go and ask him for a card. Yeah, I do think that they're, oh, sorry, Amy, I don't know what you're asking, but there's CDOT, Chicago Department of Transportation, concerned about these two dumpsters. Now, there's a couple of reasons. One, they don't have a permit. Now, if they didn't have a permit, or the permit's actually expired. With the permit expired, chances are the Department of Transportation is not going to be overly concerned. But Secret Service, as I said before, right, we've got the president and the vice president and presidential candidate going to be in town. So they're going to take an awful lot of precautions to make sure that there are no places where things can be hidden, whether or not they be weapons that can shoot projectiles, or if they're going to be things that go kaboom in this space. So chances are they're going to get a fine, but also, more importantly, they want these dumpsters out of here. And the reason being, the Secret Service is in a very heightened stance because, again, we had a problem that happened in Pennsylvania last month, and they don't want to repeat on that. Now, I saw earlier, right, that it's the older people just have the habit. I 100% think that's true, that, you know, smoking, nicotine is an incredibly addictive drug. And what's weird is, the way that I've always heard it described is it's all things to all people, right? So person A smokes and gets feeling A out of it. Person B has an entirely different reaction to smoking, but it's still an addictive reaction in that space. So smoking is just really a challenging thing to get away from. Now, vaping, I think, is a bigger investment in that space, and I still don't think that there's a lot of people that have an awful lot of money in this org, even though the staff members, a large number of these staff members work at Dream Exchange. So they're making a wage, probably a living wage, in regards to what's going on at Dream Exchange. So they don't care that they're not making a salary here. So when I say that Joe Cicala supports or funds this church, again, he was part of the charitable contributions which did the fundraising to purchase and or renovate the building. We're getting a little bit of a drizzle right now. They were part of so that was part of how he helped fund this church, but he does it on an ongoing basis, right? His payroll is, 30,000 plus a month is paying people that work at this organization. Now, he's not paying them for the work they do at the organization. He's paying them for some made-up feature that they're doing at Dream Exchange. And I'm going to say that's allegedly that Dream Exchange is not really up. It's not supposed to be up and running yet. Now, they probably are crossing lines already, but Dream Exchange is not up and running yet. So why would you need a staff this large? And what is that staff doing on a daily basis? But regardless, there are any number of people, and if you look at the Facebook, or not the Facebook, the WindyCityThetanWatch.com blog post about the Chicago staff, you'll see that a high number of them are claimed to be employed by Dream Exchange. Let's go down. We'll take a run past the trash. We'll look at the back door. It's going to be, I think it's going to be way too early for anybody to be poking their head out the back door. Right, 9:30 is when the org opened to the public this morning. And it is probably not until like 10 o'clock that courses really start. Don't know how many people went in for a course, right? I wasn't here before they opened. So I don't know I don't have a good handle on how many people are inside right now. But it won't be until, midway through the course, an hour or two in, that we'll start seeing people wanting to come out and take their smoking break. So, let's see here. Hopefully you're seeing this, right? That it's nothing but cigarettes, right? So we're seeing a lot of cigarettes out here. And we've heard before, I think it was Claire saying that they would never put an ashtray out here because they don't want to officially proclaim that it's okay to smoke, but they're never stopping anybody from smoking back here. And chances are that the ordinance in Chicago is saying you're not supposed to be smoking within 15 feet of an entrance to a building. So, while I could take video of them smoking that close to the back doors, I don't think that the city's going to come out and stop them from doing that or fine them for doing that. So here, rain's coming down good right now. So right now, boy, I hope this kind of blows over quickly. So that's the dumpster. You can see that it is locked up. Last weekend, it was kind of fun. We were out here, and the janitor who was trying to throw out stuff, the black door on top was all the way opened and leaned against the wall. And as he saw me approaching, rather than quickly close the top and put the lock on, he ran away. He had the lock with him. He went indoors with the lock. So he didn't complete the job, just in fear of the fact that I was coming by. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. And listen, I am the biggest fan of anybody who is out here exposing and protesting any of these cults, right? And again, you don't have to be out here. There are plenty of people that are in the studio, right? Without the people in the studio, I don't have the education that is needed to help communicate to these people. Yeah, Mary, I thought it was very, very funny when, we talk about as you become clear and start moving up. So at clear, you have control over your own material, energy, space, and time. And then as you get to OT8, somewhere in that range, you're getting control over others. Well, apparently there's nobody OT8 here because nobody has been able to prevent any of us protesters from doing whatever we want to out here, right? As an SP, I have power over them that I can get them to move. Just so we're clear, when the police run back this video, that is a figurative statement. They have such a great fear of me. They've been given such a misunderstanding of me that I'm a criminal and that I'm dangerous and I must be the devil. Oh, this is a terrible job of locking. Look how far open I can get that. We're seeing a lot of just garbage can trash, right? So that's cafeteria trash mostly. I don't know what's in the dark black bags. I am not going diving for that stuff there. But as an SP, and again, whether or not you're an SP, and I don't have goldenrod, so maybe I'm not an SP. I do remember sending an email to several former Scientologists saying, hey, am I an SP? And they said, oh, you're most definitely an SP. But yeah, I won't get goldenrod like Tori has. That what you'll find is that if you have a phone, you don't even have to have it powered on. I swear to God, if you had a 1980s flip phone and you came out here and pointed it at a Scientologist, they would go running, right? If you held a flip phone out in front of the org, I assure you they would close the blinds. Yeah, and it's, yeah, I don't want people to get the understanding that they close the blinds because it's me. They close the blinds because a protester has a phone, right? I don't want anybody to think I think that much of myself that it's only me that's getting this. And that's why when Mindy was here, I said, hey, Mindy, you go up there. And right, very quickly, she was able to get the blinds down. There have been a couple of other times where I've come here with other protesters and I've stayed back to let them show that, see, we can get the blinds down as well. Now, I'll be intrigued to see what the population of Scientology is this coming week. Many of the businesses in the Central Business District, they're asking their employees to work from home, that don't come to the office unless you have to. And that is mostly just to, it's a very cautious behavior to make sure that we're not putting our employees in danger of things that may or may not occur here. So it's just not worth the risk to have the employees come down this coming week. So we can see that they're, and again, this is Columbia College's dumpsters. These are not Scientology's dumpsters, but you can see that they're not taking this stuff.
Hey, drop something. My heart.
So, right, they're not taking anything half-hearted. We saw the CDOT out here, what, 10 minutes ago? 5 minutes ago? And already we've got the truck here ready to pull these dumpsters. So what happens is they hook a chain on there, and that chain helps it roll up. Now you can see the angle coming up. It's very loud. So yeah, our hiding tech is in full display. They never opened up today. That Never and Nana and Helgir were here before me. I had asked them, they said no, they just never even opened them up. They did see people come in. Publics come in and they tried to ask questions. They were dispatched rather ingloriously. Helly said that one of the publics swore at him. Basically the story of you'll never change my mind about this cult. They may not have used the word cult, but here we're going to see, I'm going to guess, another member of Scientology heading over. Anything positive to share about your cult? Is there anything positive about the cult of Scientology? Hopefully you saw the snicker on the civilian that walked by. Folks, I think that, so I've gone through all of the video of March, and by the way, this is such a painstakingly laborious, I need to keep up on it much better, so I don't, now that I've figured out a way to organize all of this, that during the month of March, I was able to engage over 100 members of Scientology, whether they be public or whether they were staff members. I think we might have another protester heading down the street. Not sure, I'll say that I see a camera out. That doesn't mean that they are or are not a protester. It looks like corn. And I'm going to say, as a betting man, I think that the other one is Dip. Now, there are people inside. Both Helligir and Neverin did mention that. Boy, are those trucks loud. Hopefully you're not hearing that. By the way, folks, like, subscribe.
Hi, Wendy.
Hello. Dip.
Yes. Hello, Wendy.
How are you?
How are you? I brought her to
Nice.
Chicago, too.
Nice. That is awesome.
Yes. We met up on the train and traveled here together. It was fun.
Very nice.
Yes. Watch out behind
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
It's odd how you connect with people and
Yes.
you realize how small the world is.
Correct. I agree.
I saw
South Shore then?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yep.
And yes, Helly and Neverin are here.
I saw them down there.
So far this morning, we've seen people enter. Now, these two dumpsters, they're Columbia, but the Department of Transportation came by because Secret Service is very worried right now of anything that's out here, and the permits are expired, so that's why they're very quickly kind of getting these things evacuated.
Wow, I didn't even think about
So,
that.
howdy, Carrie. Great to see you.
You should have seen the train today. There's bears
Hey, guys.
and cubs today.
Yes.
Okay, so
Do you know what this is, guys? Do you know what this is?
No idea, but
just don't go.
Don't go.
In. The blinds down means don't go. Yeah.
Yeah, they just realized Scientology, so they giggled and chuckled back to us.
Yeah, no, it's never obvious.
Right. Correct. That you remember the guy that came out and he bought a book of Dianetics and
Yes.
still had no idea that he
Still
had been
had
in
no idea.
in
Yeah.
Scientology. So
So they're blocking
How you
off
doing?
this parking spot.
they're not. So what happens is these were probably here to help people not block in the dumpster, right? Because you got to be able to pick the dumpster up, and you need room to do that.
So
So
we've seen a lot of extra security security and stuff walking the street?
No, now I did see 2 police on State Street, which is rare, right? We don't see foot traffic
We saw a
in
couple
this area.
police at a pay for parking.
Yeah.
And asked them if they at least get a discount, you know?
Yeah.
And they said, no, they make us pay double.
Nice.
I said, yeah, I figured. Yeah. So.
How are you today, Dip?
Good.
Are you comfortable or uncomfortable being on camera?
The mix. I don't mind being on camera, but with my big girl job,
Yes, I understand.
gotta make sure
I
that-
understand.
Yep.
All right. So,
She helps me, feel like I'm in school a little bit, so I behave just a little bit more. But then
I'll bet you still want to send her to detention all the time.
I'm definitely going to detention. I'm definitely getting detention. But Helly is too.
Yes. 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 Very nice.
Although Nano might be there with a ruler to smack our hands.
I should have brought a ruler.
Nice.
Oh, that's funny.
I'll tell you what, if you guys are going to be here, I'm going to go back over by the farmer's market to make sure nothing else is going on there. So,
Yes. And then whenever you come back, I want to go because I forgot about that. And
No problem.
I wanted to show Dip the farmer's market.
Yep.
How long does it last?
it'll be there until like noon.
Okay,
So,
because I want some of their,
Yep.
if they have the same people, their, what was it that I said I got? The Korean sushi.
Yeah.
That I tried with Juanita. It was so good. I want some more. So.
yeah.
We were excited that at least we have a crew here today.
Yes, 100%. Now, this is just a warning for what it's worth. The police will be on heightened sensitivity
That's what we
with the
talked
DNC.
about, because
So,
with the
yep,
DNC.
yep. There will be protesters and anti-protesters who have nothing to do with this. So just keep your head on a swivel and all of that fun
Well,
stuff.
hopefully we'll look so innocent compared
Correct.
to that they'll be like, yeah, I'm not.
Yep.
Nobody got time for that today.
I hear you.
Well, that's what we talked about on the train ride.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just with the DNC.
Yep.
That
And then there's a lot of people in town, a lot of
With the sports,
with the
yes,
sports
with all the
stuff.
sports, so there's a lot of extra security and traffic guards and all that. So yeah, they've got a lot to do. We're not going to give them anything else they need to do.
Correct.
We never do.
I agree
We
with that.
never do.
I agree with that. So, all right.
What is it? 5 months? 5 months.
Yeah.
Holy. And that's a good track record.
Correct.
I did do some yelling there in the beginning. Okay.
And by the way, yelling is still okay.
Well, yeah, but
I'm
it's
looking at-
involved in
Yeah.
yeah. I just don't. I
It's-
would rather be seen different.
It's one of the things I'm telling my audience that I'm going back to my original videos and I'm making all kinds of clips so that I can dump them into longer full-length videos. I just want to library or catalog them.
Yeah.
So,
So the flowers are doing really well.
and seeing yourself in the early days, like even myself,
Yes.
it was like,
Now,
I don't like me back
I
then.
can't watch myself now.
Yeah.
I had to watch my own second interview with Jenny so that I could tell her what edited,
Right.
because in this case it is more personal.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind telling her because she makes me feel comfortable. But anyway, I don't know why this isn't going down. There we go. And so it took me a week of having it in my inbox
Right.
to even, and then I had to listen to myself fast beat so I wouldn't sound the same. And
Are you a good chipmunk?
yeah, I'm pretty, and I talk fast anyway.
Nice.
But so yeah, I definitely have not gone back to watch myself, but I feel like I'm an overthinker on myself as it is.
Yeah.
So I don't really need to give myself.
And that's what we all need to get better at that, on the idea
Yeah.
that we're our worst critics and nobody else cares about the things we care about.
Yeah, and so I've just decided not to care because I can't really do anything about it.
Yep.
People are going to have a certain opinion. I don't know why this
Hello,
is
puppy.
wobbly down here maybe. That's it. That's it. Okay.
All right. I'm going to take a lap over to Dearborn Street. I'll be back.
All right.
You guys have a great time.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a few.
Thank you. So these are days that I like, right? The idea that we've got so many people that are going to be out here, again, it affords me the opportunity to roam, right? And hopefully we'll be able to encounter body routers. Now, I do think that there has been an impact on the body routing because of the protesters, and they're tired of seeing protesters gathering their media, right? So they don't, I'm sure that Another negative stat for them now is number of times that one of the protesters comes away with a flyer or a pamphlet. We're heading down the street here to Polk Street. Just a reminder, right, we've got Harrison at the top of the street, and Harrison is 600. Polk Street is 800. The org is at 650. Basically right in the middle. We're again going to head over to the farmers market just to make sure there's nobody in there passing out flyers. Now, the people that live in Imprint, they would have had to walk out, well, they can walk out the front or the back. I don't know how clever they are to try to stay out of my field of view. So it's possible they would slip out the back. What I don't know is if Scientology would trust any of its members enough to take media home and then go to their tour from their home. Are you self-editing, Amy? Thank you, Style Audit. I appreciate that. I would say I think you're being generous. Now, the one thing I will say is that you've got to take the first step before you can take the second step. So come out here, find your footing. If you want to come out on days where it's a little bit more, I'm going to say crowded, right? So today there are several members who are anti-Scientology. It makes it Amy, what's your favorite food in this area? Now, Korn said something about Korean sushi, which I have no idea what the difference between Korean or Japanese sushi would be, other than, you know, the Koreans have a tendency to use kimchi, right, which is the fermented pickled vegetables, and I think that shows up more in the Korean realm. But otherwise, I would imagine it to be rather similar. So we've got a squirrel with nuts here. So nuts to Chicago? Wait, nuts to go Chicago. Nice, nice. I can't today. But so you roast everything. You do all the flavoring yourself?
Yeah.
Nice. So you're seeing he's got it here. We've got about 50 people on. What do you want to tell them about?
Well, probably going to be the best. Not yet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh,
Everything's
gluten
sweet.
and dairy free. So okay.
Gluten and dairy free. We got over here vanilla. We got over there whiskey.
Nice.
And
You do nut butters?
no,
Nice.
perfect for every season.
Correct. I love it.
Especially in the winter.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Have a good one. Have a good one. Okay.
All right, kind of looking through the crowd here.
There's a lot of travel like who want to travel.
Look at all the nice pastries here and breads. By the way, I'm a bread guy. If you ever want to bribe me, make a loaf of bread. I'm still looking through just to make sure that we're not seeing any Scientology setup, and I'm not seeing that. Howdy. Got a little bit of drizzle coming down again. Ooh, look, eggs. Got some fresh eggs here. Now, smoked salmon is not something that is huge in this neighborhood, but some of you may or may not know that there have been, well, today, Rogers Park, Evanston, Skokie, so the very northern neighborhoods of Chicago and its suburban neighbor Evanston, happen to have a very high Jewish population, and then there's on Foster Avenue there's another little enclave. But you've heard me talk about Pilsen before, and today Pilsen is an incredibly heavy Mexican Hispanic community. However, it also was originally a Jewish neighborhood, and the old Jewish, I don't know if it would be a shul or a synagogue, but the old Jewish community center is now a community center, just a Christian community center down in Pilsen. And it also had, at one point Pilsen had a very heavy Polish or Eastern European influence. And in those places, you better believe you could have found smoked salmon. Thank you, Amy. One of my running friends is a member of the synagogue that is just south of Loyola on Sheridan Avenue, between the top of Lakeshore Drive and Loyola. Just a second, let me get past this intersection and then I'll read that. We have a new name for Ludmilla. And we should see Ludmilla today. So Ludmilla is foundation. So if we use Natalia, I'm going to make them, I don't ever want to confuse her or let people think that I'm conflating Natalie and Natalia. But I will say, Musket Moose and Scooter. Oh, that was Natasha. That was Natasha. My old Rocky and Bullwinkle, Natasha, and Boris, right? Boris Badenov? Olga. Olga, well, I like Ludmilla, but Olga is probably a very good approximation.
Anybody over there?
No, there's nobody. Well, the market's full. The market's doing very well, but there's no. I can't see any flyers on any of the tables, and I don't see. There's definitely nobody in uniform over there right now.
Anybody else?
It's like a mile from my house.
I mean, it's.
I don't think that's the case.
There is. The train was full of. But also,
No, it was a bear stand. It was a big bear.
It was bears and cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big Chicago sports today.
Yeah.
So sports
No
ball,
sarcasm, those are
sports
bad.
ball everywhere today.
I almost Thanks.
I grabbed my Lions.
So where these people are typically going to head is that they'll go either to Polk and go east to the lakefront, or if they go one more block to Roosevelt, well, it's not a block, it's basically a half mile, down to, so Polk Street, right, is 8th Street. Roosevelt is 12th Street, so 4 blocks further, 400 blocks further. That is going to be a main shot over to the museum campus, and Soldier Field is just behind the museum campus, or just south of the museum campus. Today we have several protesters out. We've got Never In Nana, Hellgear, Corn Freak, Dazed But Still Confused, DBSC, and Dipmeinglitter is out here today. So if you're fans of Natalie or Nora's show, I think that Dip is on Nora as well, and she's definitely helping out with some other channels as well, because contrary to popular belief, many moderators actually help several channels. It is not unheard of or uncommon for a moderator to find a group of channels that they want to help out. Let's head around the back real quick. Yeah, I'm pleased as punch that we have so many people out here activated against Scientology. Like I said, it either turns me into Windy Wanderers, or it still gives me a chance to see if we can search out and find more people who are out here trying to pass out any kind of paraphernalia or media to try to entice people to come back into the organization at 650 South Clark Street. Yeah, actually, I think it's relatively rare for a moderator to be on one channel, right? And the one thing I will tell you that I've always been very happy about with the people that have been moderating on my channel is, they're more than happy to give me advice, but they let me run the channel, right? The other one is I like that they try to help others. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go down that side. And it's just now raining again. I think that we're going to get missed a lot today, but these moderators try to help others who might feel a little bit less uncomfortable and not understanding what moderating is, and give them tips and tricks, right? The idea of, hey, here's things that you should do, and I think that they are incredibly helpful tools, right? The biggest one is probably CYA, that nobody that has ever modded for me that I'm aware of doesn't take meticulous screenshots every time they have to act. I want to say I'm very, very happy that there are very few problems or drama that comes up in this channel. So other than the fact that I make my mods continually find links to other channels, that this is one of the most civil and adult chats that I'm aware of, and I really do appreciate that. Every once in a while we have had a couple of detractors come in. And again, when it takes away from the experience of what we're trying to do here, I just don't want it here. It doesn't make sense. Thank you, Jules. Something else that I'm going to say, and I've tried to say it on the channel that has a pair of moderators that believe they're sharing everybody in the community. They're sharing everybody in the community except for me in this space. That my moderators, they perform another action. If you watch my channel, and sorry, I'm just kind of staying out of the rain here for a bit. I'm going to walk over to the train station just to see if there's any activity there. So when I'm engaged with somebody, I'm having an interview or a conversation with anybody that's here on the street, or when we're out with the the body routers and I'm trying to explain to them why they shouldn't accept the material they're receiving, I'm not paying attention to what's going on in the chat. And I feel incredibly safe because they are watching what's going on in the chat, and they're helping the people that are in the chat understand that I'm not ignoring you. I'm concentrating on something else, right? Now, it is a weekend, so my expectation is that Scientology does want to be able to grow their community, so they probably are out body routing. I'm just not able to find them, right? And more often than not, I care more about what's going on near the organization, right? I'm not as concerned. I'm not saying that it's a zero chance, right? I'm saying it's the chance of somebody walking into the organization from a neighborhood that's 3 miles away is much less likely than somebody who receives a flyer on any of the two or three streets that surround the Church of Scientology at 650 South Clark Street. Those people, just by being in the neighborhood in order to receive the flyer, have shown that they're available to walk into the organization. They're the ones that I want to make sure that I'm protecting or defending against the most. Now, if they stop doing it locally, yeah, I'm going to have to change tactics, right? Yeah, do I need to get a scooter? Do I need to get a bicycle? How do I get out? To be able to cover a wider area. Maybe I have to get back into running. Okay, so right, a block and a half down is where you've got Clark Street. You can see the orange diamond down there for the construction sign. So that's Clark Street. And then right here, this is the LaSalle Street station. So a lot of people that are coming from west and south suburban suburbs are coming into this station. And it is a place where I have seen Scientology handing out flyers before. This past week, right? So you can see the stairs coming down from the platform up there. And then this is the bus stop for the LaSalle Street station. So what will happen is, people will come into the city on the train, and then they'll disperse throughout the city on these buses. This past week, I was able to find 2 flyers laying on the ground here underneath the bench. And that gives me the impression that either Scientology had come out here to hand off the flyer, or that these people who are going to get on the bus had walked past the org or near the org. And by the way, thank you for the positive accolades. I appreciate that, and I hope that I am showing you that we're trying to do things to prevent Scientology from growing a foothold here in Chicago. Morning. So, again, we're seeing heightened security all over the city. Howdy. The next 7 days? The white shirts that are further down, those are conductors from the train. But you can see that, right, we've got 5 police people here on the platform. And again, they're just looking for suspicious activity. Now, what I don't understand here, and this is why police watching or cop watching channels exist, you cannot search somebody because you think they look suspicious. They need to have done something that elevates to the point of reasonable suspicious activity. That, you look scary, you look creepy is not a reason. It's a very, very dark little alley here. So right now we're walking over that street. There's a street below us that's Ida B. Wells, or the old Congress Expressway. And at the bottom of these stairs, you would enter into the Chicago Stock Exchange. The Scientologists have definitely been trying to push much more up into this area. And you'll notice that that's one of the reasons why they come out the back door alley, is because they think that they can walk up this direction and stay out of my line of sight, which, by the way, to some degree they can. They're much more effective getting outside of my line of sight coming this direction. The other, so with all the people coming in for the Bears game, remember, this would have been one of the places that they would have come into, the LaSalle Street station, and then there's Union Street and Ogilvie station. By the way, if you remember Trashy V12 BMW, and yes, I miss him as much as all of you do, they would come into Ogilvie when they would visit. I think those are the three guys that were in front of, or that were walked past the org and sat down at the Dunkin'. So one of the tactics that Scientology will do is when they know there is a large number of people coming in on trains because of the football game. And by the way, Chicago is and will always be a football town. They care about baseball, they care about basketball, they care about hockey, but it's a football town. It's the one thing that really unifies all of the sports ball folks. You can notice, so this is very likely due to the DNC, right? So they're locking off this walkway. There's a pedestrian walkway between here and Jackson Street, and they're fencing that off just to make sure that it's challenging for, if things do get out of hand, that they don't have to worry about people walking through there. Folks, again, my thinking is that at least some of you are watching multiple channels. If you see anything back at the organization that you think it's helpful I head back that way, please let me know. And I just got a notice that our friend from Minnetonka is just about to go live. So Scientology is about, there are two places where the convention is kind of taking place. Now, the convention itself, when they actually nominate the president, that's going to take place at the United Center. The United Center is about 2.5 miles west of the organization. The other place that they're having DNC activity is at McCormick Place. And McCormick Place, if you ever look at Chicago, you've got the museum campus there on the lakefront. The next building south is Soldier Field, which is where the Bears are playing today. And then the next building south of that is McCormick Place. It is an incredibly large convention center. So things like the Chicago Auto Show, the Chicago Boat Show, those types of things will take place in that area. If you were to draw a line between the two, the org is on that line. So we did hear the CDOT person say that, hey, the reason that they were moving those dumpsters is because of Secret Service security concerns. Sorry, I'm just looking down Jackson because if you come out of Union Station, this is the more heavily foot trafficked walkway to the lakefront. So we'll keep on walking towards the lakefront. Howdy, L. Ron Lyer. Got some 420 scooter folks. Hey Fuzzy, how you doing? Howdy MD Media. So we've got quite the crowd here today. Corn Freak, DBSC is here. Hellgear is here. Never in Nana is here. And Dipmeinglitter is here. Since they're out by the org, I can travel a little bit more. I know that, right, we don't get, you know, we're guessing, taking chances. We're rolling dice when we come out here to see if we can find any body routers. But if you wanted to see what was happening outside the org, there are several channels that'll be outside the org. And I'm still kind of scanning left and right, seeing if I can find uniforms anywhere. Now again, when I'm looking for uniforms, I'm looking for, you know, the easiest one to see is when they're wearing just the vest with their white shirt because it stands out quite a bit. The next one is the dark suit, because on a day like today, there wouldn't be a lot of people that are wearing suits. The next one that's easier to see is when they wear the red Dianetic shirt, because red is not a common color here in Chicago, so those stand out pretty well. And additionally, they've got the Way to Happiness. The Way to Happiness, they will usually be in a white t-shirt, green pants, white hat, and have a green satchel with them. It's funny, it's like they've got 12 uniforms here in Scientology. Here you can see the library and the State Street train station. Hello, Petty Lane. I think we'll head all the way over to Lake Michigan right now, and then we'll head back to the organization. Again, I'm just trying on the off chance that we can find somebody out here trying to hand off propaganda. If you are coming to Chicago this week, I just want to warn you, right, that we do have professional protesters that will be out here. And what that means is, not for Scientology, but by the way, one of Scientology's professional protesters will be here this week. Here you can see the flyers that I hand out. The issue with professional protesters is that there will be professional anti-protesters as well, and what they'll try to do is mingle in amongst the protesting groups and cause trouble so that it looks like the protesting group is not safe and causing issues. The police will be incredibly sensitive this weekend. Right. We've got the current president of the United States that'll be in town. We've got the current vice president, the presumptive nominee vice president, the presumptive nominee president that will be in town this week. The Secret Service had a bit of an oopsie-daisy last month in Pennsylvania. They do not want to repeat that. I think that they will be more aggressive and more sensitive to anything that looks out of place. So if you are going to be here protesting, be careful. Try to make sure you're staying on the right side of lines. Howdy, Michael Malloy. So now we're coming up to Wabash. I am still not seeing any staff members or any body routers, sidewalk recruiters out here today. The next street will be Michigan Avenue. This is a massive Starbucks. I don't use Streamlabs, but one of the things, and you know, that is fairly that's a good practice if you're trying to, let's say here, get monetized or remind people of how to share, donate, like, subscribe, all of those fun things. Now we're heading over to Michigan Avenue, and definitely look like the sun, the clouds are starting to separate or break up. I'm definitely looking at people's hands as well, just to see if they've got flyers. Hey folks, I know I'm not over by the org, but there is a pinch point that gets you from Grant Park underneath Lakeshore Drive to Bear Stadium, idiot, Soldier Field. Anybody have an issue if I go ahead and we take a walk over there? It'll probably take us 15 minutes to get there, 15 minutes to get back. But being a pinch point, it might be a place where we would see people trying to hand out propaganda.
And then I was like, okay.
Very bright sunny day right now. If DOA is out protesting, I will protest alongside of DOA. If DOA is going to take up his anti-protester stance, yeah, I don't really have any desire to be near him. I will stand with anybody who is standing against Scientology. I did hear that he was here early today in Chicago. I mean, early today. I had an understanding that he would be here tomorrow. I think he was in Hollywood last night, so my expectation is he flew in. Maybe he's rented a vehicle. If he needs help protesting, I'm more than happy to help him. If he needs help with directions, I'm more than happy to help him. If he needs any help outside of protesting Scientology, I'm not in. Folks, if we look at the thumbnail, right? The thumbnail is showing you. Oh, I'll go ahead and cross here. The thumbnail is showing you some images of the 1968 Democratic riots. You remember that was a very tough time in American history, right? A lot of division. We're trying to come out of the Vietnam War. We've got Martin Luther King. We don't yet have the problems with Robert Kennedy. Chicago has historically been a big D Democratic town. Usually it has a liberal point of view. There were plenty of people who were out protesting. There was racial inequality, housing inequality, monetary job inequality, economic inequality, I guess, in that time. And the police dropped the hammer on most protesters. One of the scariest things that I remember hearing this year was Commander Harris. Now, if you remember opening day, Commander Harris was on site, and Commander Harris is the top cop at District 1. So he's not Chicago's top cop, but he is District 1's top cop. And you could tell that he had no appetite for the protesters, that he sided with the church on every single possible decision that there was. He incorrectly and illegally moved people off of public ground. He incorrectly and illegally threatened people with arrest. And it's just because it's a power ego or power item for most of those people. Folks, I'm kind of keeping my eye over on the other side of the street because that's where more of the foot traffic is, just to see if we've got anybody coming up and down the street. Not seeing anybody here. If this next block that's coming up, if you go diagonally through it, and we will go kind of diagonally through it, we'll be able to cross over to Soldier Field. Well, actually, we're just going to go to the pinch point. There's a tunnel that forces everybody to go under that to get under Lakeshore Drive so they can get towards Soldier Field. And I just want to see if Scientology is taking the opportunity to be there. Yeah. Oh, I'm not using StreamYard today, but I kind of wanted to put up the Aaron's little statement that the people that he has been in contact with have said there have been no new Scientology starts in Chicago since the grand opening. So Scientology and its public members have spent hundreds of millions of dollars to acquire and renovate this building, and they have nothing to show for it. I do feel partly responsible for that, but also trashy 12 BMW, trashy B12 BMW, SRA, severe reality adjustment, Shannon, Korn, Nance, Hellgear. Looking through the old files we saw, right, Steph the writer, Scientology. Free Xenu project comes out fairly frequently. Style, yeah, that was, I do remember back in the old days, whether or not it was a sports team winning a championship, which, by the way, that didn't really happen in Chicago very often, but around the country, if a sports team won a championship, you were always going to see cop cars flipped over. It's just harder to do these big SUVs. It's harder for them to flip these big SUVs over. You can see that we've got all kinds of Bears fans heading across the street here. Now, again, my hopes aren't high. Well, my hopes are always high. I have mellow expectations on this because it's more likely that Scientology would be here at the end of the game. Because if you pass something off to somebody right now, they've got to keep it for the entire game and bring it home. Howdy, Hellgear. Thank you, Helgier. By the way, that is the way the two independent people communicate with one another. Ahead of us, you're seeing, I can't remember if it's Colonel Logan or General Logan, but if you are ever up in on the blue line and you head northwest, you go through Logan Square, and Logan Square is named after a man on the horse right here. He was I think a Civil War hero. I just don't remember enough about why he was a hero or what his heroism entailed. Also, again, not sure why this is roped off, but I'm going to guess it has something to do more with DNC than it does with the bears. You are going to see, right, that we're going to see more bears people as we move through here. Yeah, so I'm going to turn back towards the org quickly. So this bridge that goes over, and well, behind the bridge you can see a bit of a domed top. That is Soldier Field. I am just going to go over here to see if at this pinch point Scientology is trying to hand out anything. And then I will head back over to the org. Like this, there's several street vendors here, right, who've either purchased soda, Gatorade, water, snacks. And I like this kind of opportunistic process, right? Yeah, they're taking advantage of the situation, but it's entrepreneurial, right? Good business idea.
Shots, beers, hard seltzers. Hydrate on time.
How you doing? Nice.
There's
No, thank
nothing
you.
like a cold while you strolling, my man.
I hear you.
Ice cold, ice cold.
So he's actually selling barley soda, and I kind of feel like, that doesn't sound like something you can do out here in public. But good on him. Excellent style auto. You be safe. Again, I've talked to you that, right, we've got heightened security. So we're now looking down into the train yard. By the way, these are the trains that are going to go out to Indiana. But you see the squad car down there with the lights on. And then over on the Roosevelt Street Bridge, you've got the cops there. And this, let me show you. So that's Soldier Field. We're not going to go all the way over there. This little archway down here, that is that pinch point that I was speaking of. That kind of everybody's going to pretty much be going down there. Howdy, Twyla. You can see that we've got a heavily biased Bears audience, which makes perfectly good sense here in Chicago. How you doing? Again, more barley soda. So this street is going to be Columbus that we're going to go under. By the way, he's given a great price on beer. It's $5 beer, which in Chicago, that's a deal. They all have airplane alcohol too. Now these police are going to be crowd control for the football game. You know, as I had mentioned earlier, that it's as you go south of Soldier Field, then you run into McCormick Place. Again, scanning the crowd, just looking to see if I can find anybody that appears to be here on behalf of Scientology. Most of you just got a cheap tour of Chicago in Grant Park. The next street is going to be passing underneath Lakeshore Drive. We won't pass under Lakeshore Drive. We should be able to see evidence of any Scientology before we actually have to pass under there. And then I will shoot back to the org real quick. Now we're going to see that there might be bag checks going on here, but they are definitely narrowing up the area. It's odd, right? So you've just purchased your beer. I think it's pretty hard to walk past the police with that beer. All right. Yeah, we're definitely not seeing Scientology down here. This is something that I actually think is dangerous, right? That they've got this fence that's put up here. And what that really does is it forces, if there was any kind of panic that occurred here, that's going to cause people to get stuck and potentially harmed because they can't escape the area due to that fence being there. Now, I'm sure that Chicago carries enough insurance to solve most of those problems, but it's always one of those things that I've never liked, that they block off so many paths that the locals know are whether or not it's a shortcut or just another easy way to get around or escape the area faster. You can see I'm swimming against the crowd right now. Howdy, Purple Raspberry. So right now we're at Lakeshore Drive, coming up on Columbus Avenue, and we're going to head back to the org. We've been out just on a flyer, seeing if we could find anybody that's out here. We have not seen any evidence of Scientology yet today. That Helgir and Never and Nana were out early. When they arrived at the org, the blinds were closed, so there was nobody. There was no chance for us to close the blinds. Ooh, it's very loud in here. Sorry. Wow, that's a lot of noise. I don't know how well that comes if I'm protecting you from that, but. There were a couple of publics that came in, and they gave Helgier a little bit of grief. Helgier says that she was sworn at this morning. Again, right, most ethical people on the planet. And the way that they treat people, rather funny, especially with their ability to communicate. I would say that that is not the best evidence of them using communication as a universal solvent. Now I'm heading up one of the biggest hills here in Chicago. As you finish the Chicago Marathon, you come up Michigan Avenue, you take a right-hand turn onto Roosevelt, and then you go up the ramp that gives you height to get over the railroad tracks. And we euphemistically call that Mount Rushmore. At the 26th mile of a marathon, any hill is a mountain. We're still just kind of keeping our eyes open, see if there's any evidence of. It sounded like Helgier was saying it's pretty quiet at the org. They're not, at least, telling me that anybody's leaving the org on a tour to be papering. As we walk forward, I'm gonna have to think here for a second. I think it's 11th Street at this point. By the way, Amy, if you're still in here, 11th Street Diner, that is a place where you can get traditional Jewish breakfast and brunch. So they will have lox and bagels and smoked salmon. Yeah, there are some darker clouds there. Howdy, Cubs. Thanks for stopping in, folks. If you're not already a subscriber of Cubs Champion 16, make sure you head over there. I think that I'm out a lot. He crushes me. He's out at least twice as much as I am. And I'm a big fan of his style. He tries to create engagement with the staff. The staff choose not to talk with him. He does help educate the neighbors. Very similar to what I'm doing here. Right, more often than not, the things you hear me say are not really intended to affect the Scientologist as much as they're intended to help the neighbors who are walking past understand the dangers of what's going on inside of this organization. Ha. Here we see number 34, our heroic, legendary player, Walter Payton. The NFL annually awards, honors one of its players with an award called the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. And it's more for the things you do off of the field. But what a great legacy to have. Hey Cubs, are they out on, oh darn it, I can't remember what the road along Fenway is that they kind of open to the public for all the restaurants. But do you find Scientology out in that group? So here's 11 City Diner. Down there you see the neon lights. It's hard to get into. It's always packed, but I will say it's always a great meal. There's also an old candy store in there as well. Now we're on Wabash, but at this point, the train is running in the alley behind the buildings. If you're in the city center, the train runs over the street. There are places in St. Louis that I really like. And then there's other places where, yeah, recently Chicago looks cleaner. Yeah, thank you, Lansdowne. Folks, for those of you that don't know, the ballpark there in Boston is the oldest park still around. Wait, I don't know if Wrigley is older than Fenway, but Fenway has a very unique element to it, that it was built on such a small lot that its left field would have been far too short, so it has the big monster out there in left field. So the wall in left field is many feet high. In order to prevent those power right-handed sluggers from just crushing it out of the park, since it's the distance to the wall is short, but the height of the wall is massive. It is accessible via the commuter lines, just like both ballparks here in Chicago are available via the red line. If you go out the green line, there is a Fenway stop. We're going to go through Dearborn Park in just a second. Just a reminder that this Dearborn Park, what we're seeing right here, this is the only way to drive into this neighborhood. There are 6 ways to walk into this neighborhood, but this is the only way to drive into the neighborhood. So it's a well sought after neighborhood. People have the feeling of safety. If there is a vehicle in there, the overwhelming theory is that the vehicle belongs there. Always like these apartments here. So you see I've got those steps. So each one of those steps is a patio. So you've got a beautiful outdoor space there. Cubs playing with all the emojis. Folks, last week was, I I was jonesing to intercept a flyer, and last Saturday we didn't see anybody all day long until just before I shut down. I shut down all my cameras, and all of a sudden I saw a body router, and I used my other phone, and we did vertical, so everybody hated it, but we were able to, I'm gonna sneeze, sorry. We were able to follow the body router until they tried to hand off a flyer, and I immediately stepped in and was able to intercept the flyer. Ooh, we've got some good rain coming down. I was able to intercept that flyer, and it was a good feeling. It had been a while since I actually captured a flyer. And again, I don't know if they're getting smarter and avoiding me, or if they're just struggling to find people that want to wander around the streets of Chicago trying to hand stuff off past me. They have a terrible track record of trying to hand flyers out. Folks, I grew up with a Newfoundland. These are the greatest dogs in the universe. I love my current pet, but Newfoundlands are amazing. If you've got a young family, and by the way, based upon the demographics of my channel, nobody here has a young family. But if you have a young family, those dogs are so incredible. Like, they'll let a baby pull their ears, pull their tail. They just don't care. And they're incredibly protective of the family. And they don't bark much. I'm going to stay underneath this tree for just a second. They don't really bark much. They have a very low tone woof. Boy, I think you're seeing quite a rain out ahead of me.
Oh no, we didn't bring an umbrella.
There's an umbrella right here. Nature brought you one. Well, my hope is this stuff is moving fast, because it's coming down pretty hard right now. I don't want to walk out past this tree right now. I am starting to get a little bit doused. Oh, you know what? I have a hat. I could put a hat on. And yeah, folks, I think it's important, right, that even myself, right, I'm all in to stop this cult from expanding. I want it to shrink. I want it to die. I want them to lose their tax-exempt status. I do whatever I can to try to prevent people from falling prey to what the cult has to offer them, which is always misdirected and misleading. But yes, I have a family, and I want to make sure that I take care of my family and I spend time with my family as well. My family is very understanding of what I do when I come out here and the time that I'm away from them. When I do put the phone down and when I do put the camera down, you know, I put it down, and I'm with my family. And I also, I'm not infinitely wealthy. I have to work for a living. The money that you make on YouTube, until you get to Aaron's level, you're not making a really great living doing this, right? I am absolutely upside, and this is not a plea for money. All donations go back into it, but I am absolutely upside down running this channel with the cameras, the software, the website, the literature that I do printing on, right? So we're heading, we're on to Polk Street. So we just left that Dearborn neighborhood that I was talking about earlier. We're going to head over to Clark Street. And I have to clean my glasses. Hey Danny, how you doing? I need windshield wipers for my glasses. Looks like that wave of rain is past us. We're coming up to Clark Street, so we'll be on the block where the organization is at, 650 South Clark Street, in just a moment. I just want to talk through here as we go past some speakers playing some music, so we don't have to worry about the copyright problems. And sorry, when I say copyright, I'm saying that they'll demonetize you if you're using copyrighted music and you let it play without talking over it for any period of time. So we're back on the Scientology block. And folks, I was smart enough to bring a hat. Last weekend I spent an awful lot of time without a hat, and we took in a lot of sun. Yes, I do get my steps in. And yes, Fuzzy, Newfies are amazing. One of the things that I always remember is we were always, my grandparents lived on a lake, and we were always on a lake all summer long. And Newfoundlands just have a natural tendency to be a life-saving dog. They're a dog with webbed feet. And if you try to go swimming with them, they will tend to go out deeper than you and shepherd you inward all the time. All right, so we're back up to the org. We're seeing that it is still closed, right? So they have never opened up their door today. They have never opened up the windows today. As we look through here, right, this is the young L. Ron Hubbard, the adventurer and military genius who opened war on a log in the Pacific Ocean, attacked our enemy, which was actually our one of our friends, Mexico. He was deemed unfit for any level of leadership. So we're coming back to the org, and just a reminder, we've got several other protesters out here today. So Corn Freak, DBSC, dazed but still confused. And we've got Hellgear, Never in Nana, and Dipmeinglitter. By the way, Dipmeinglitter probably could use subs. I'm not sure. I know that she streamed up in Battle Creek. You probably know Dipmeinglitter as a mod. She's a mod for Natalie. I think she's a mod for Nora as well. Yeah. Scientology is definitely not doing anything productive today. So we've gone through the train station, we've gone past the football stadium. We're just not seeing any effective body routing or publics coming in or going out. So, no. Lunchtime or going back?
Lunchtime.
Okay.
Since we got dumped on pretty good.
Yes, I assume so. Nice. Cool. Yep.
Young kid,
Yep.
kind of heavy set a little bit. He had a white T-shirt on and a white hat, really dark hair.
So it would have been Way to Happiness. Okay, gotcha. And when did you see him go in?
Maybe about how long ago? 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Right before
about
the downpour.
15 minutes
Okay.
ago or so, right before the rain.
He went back in, but he had a whole satchel full of.
The green, yeah, it's a green satchel because he would have
it's
been.
white.
It's the white
It's a different. It's,
Oh, it's not Way to Happiness.
He had a gold vest.
Okay.
he had a white T-shirt on.
Yeah.
But the satchel was white,
Okay.
and he had it was full of white.
All right.
But he was going back in.
Yeah.
I think he was doing lunch, maybe.
They ushered
Yeah.
him back in pretty quick.
So they'll, yeah, they always, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. Did you get him on film?
I didn't think anybody. Of course, right? One time. Like,
I'm telling you to
Are
turn
you
on
going
your
to
camera.
I know. My fault.
Um,
I was giving her the tour.
Well,
Yes.
we were
Alley.
talking, and then all of a sudden,
He was behind
that's
us.
how it happens. They were
We're talking
behind
about
us.
they found a body router today.
And then we turn around, and he was going in before we could even do anything.
No problem. So here's what I think is good. He is coming back for lunch, so
Right.
he'll come back out again. So if you see him
Got
come
a
out,
white
that'd be great.
bucket hat.
But then if we come back in an hour, so yeah, I might take some time and go recharge batteries and stuff just the same. So okay, cool.
Well, we could go to our taco place, or there's all kinds of places
I'm gonna yep.
over there, so I don't
I gotta show you the front.
Wow, you're going
That's all I
military.
brought. I
You're going
took
military.
train.
Nice.
I'm in training.
You're going.
And, yep.
She's got a rucksack. So Helga's got a
The whole
rucksack.
weekend.
Nice.
This is until Monday night. I'm going to DNC too.
Nice.
Yeah, so, and I said I ski, so I have everything. Should be
Nice.
Outside for an hour, go to the library, come back at lunch.
Very nice.
I'm going to be here all year.
Love it. Love it.
I'm just,
I do love that.
yeah, so.
Cool. All right. I think I'm going to take the next hour off as well because again, there's. I'm going to go over to the hotel just because it's easier for me to charge everything while I'm over there.
That's also the farmer's market.
No, it's over now.
No, I missed the. We already went. Fine, but I missed the sushi.
All right. I'll see you guys in a bit.
That's the alley.
I'll be back later. All right. Thanks. Sorry, folks. I haven't been paying attention to you. I was kind of talking to the cohorts. All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over to the hotel, grab myself a coffee, recharge all the batteries because they did go down pretty low. The good news was they did see a body router. Now, it's very likely that that body router will then go back out after lunch. So what I want to do is get everything charging very quickly so that I can be back here by 1 o'clock. When I say 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock Central Time, so that we can try to capture him as he leaves. What I'll do is I'll see if some of the ladies are going to stay out front, if they can kind of signal me some way or another, or if anybody in chat is watching the two channels to let me know that, hey, he left through the front, but I'll kind of camp out in the back when we get back from lunch. All right, let's go head over to Rika. By the way, if you don't already, please make sure you're subscribed and turn your notifications on so that when I head back out, you'll know that we're here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Let's go over to Rika, let her know we sent you. And I will talk to you in about an hour. Thank you, everybody.